So tell me about the best collection and what drew the judges to it.
The winner of the best collection has got this really distinctive voice and fresh and exciting, and it really questions our traditional idea of what poetry is, which I think is a good thing.
In what way?
Because it's like, if you say the word jazz, it has a similar effect as if you say poetry. It sort of scares away more people than it attracts. When in fact, just like jazz is an open way of looking at things. You know, if you have a jazz player, the ethos of freedom is not very far away, and of exploration. And that's how it should be with poetry as well. There's poetry around us, you know, in a good turn of phrase, in a sweet goodbye or something. And it's an essence of life, so why would you be scared of life?
And is the musicality of Kai Miller's collection something that particularly appealed to you as a singer-songwriter?
Kai Miller is a performance poet as well, so he is used to standing in front of people and enjoying rhythm and the sounds of language and the power of language as well, and that shines really clearly throughout his work. But I loved his humour as well as the historical ideas within the work, and also to question us as the imperial powers, you know, who gets to map the world? Because at the moment it's so current with all these borders fidgeting and wriggling. You know, it's a very, very current book.
And are there parallels to be drawn between the best collection and the best first collection, Liz Berry's Black Country?
Liz Berry is another exquisite voice, loud and clear voice, very distinctive. Also uses dialect and accent in her work as well, although they're very, very different voices from each other. Both have been very successful in presenting a very cohesive collection with one clear voice.
And did you get the sense during the judging process that each of the judges had particular priorities or particular criteria?
It's always fascinating to be on these judging panels. We all come from such different walks of life, and we all do different things for a living and have different academic backgrounds. Danny was wonderful to work with, Danny Absey. He had what we have begun to call the Danny method, because when you agree to be a judge, you don't really understand straight away that you're going to get at least 5 big boxes full of poetry to read. And so the Danny method is to read the first 10 pages, and if it doesn't move you, then move on. I think that's a good way to start, but it's a terrible thing, because you want to spend so much time with each book, because obviously these writers have put their hearts and souls and, you know, laboured over this work.
And what's been your response to the range of poetry that you've read?
I enjoy poetry just the same as I enjoy music. You know, the word for poetry and music in Welsh and Somali actually is one word, cerys it is in Welsh. So I approach them similarly. If it moves you, if it somehow questions the world around you, if it unlocks truths, or if it strengthens convictions, then it is a good piece of work.
And have you been encouraged by the state of contemporary poetry? Do you think it's in good health?
I think if you say poetry, like I mentioned, it's like saying jazz, people might run away. But actually, if you just understand that poetry is in a good turn of phrase, or in a great book you've read, or it's all around us. And then you get youngsters like Kate Tempest coming through that come from the sort of more slam poetry angle of things, and it's opening wide open. In fact, I think poetry is the new rock and roll.
And are there particular images from either of the winning collections that have stayed with you?
Are there
particular images or particular poems?
There's a line from Liz Berry's collection that I'll always enjoy thinking about. By the factory I danced a rumba.